Hey,
We
yo,
are.
G
Hopefully they
Dad,
can hear
Yeah,
us.
but you
take
get
your
the
hat
fingers.
off.
Well, either
This
way, we're going to
week
be
on
recording.
Hats
It
Off.
doesn't matter. We're here now. Good day, good people. This is Hats Off with G Dash Jones. I know what you're thinking. Where is he at? Listen, secret location. I told you I had to be in a secret location for this. This isn't something that you just wander into when you talk about Weedstock, good people. Listen, I will be the host of Weedstock. I am actually on location. This is Panama Pod Week. Panama Paired Week. Earlier this week, you saw me on Tuesday. I interviewed the person who runs Dinner and Blanc. Yeah, a private event. Guess what? I got another event to talk to you about. It's amazing how we do this. It is. So this time, we're going to talk about Weedstock. And I'm here with a couple of organizers. I'm going to have some people who actually going to be performing on the show. And some advocates. I got a little mixed bag, if you will. A mixed bag, if you will. Now, with that said, next to me, right to my right, your left, I have the legendary mind, one of the legendary minds behind this whole Weedstock situation, and that goes by the name of Miss Cynthia Ferguson, right there. There it is.
That's it. Cynthia. Yes.
Cynthia, there it is. And then next to her, I got top 5 advocates you have ever heard of. You listen, list your advocates. You're gonna get to Chris Goldstein. I promise you. Like, that's who he is. Okay, you ain't met one like him. Look him up. You gonna find out. How y'all doing today?
Great. Awesome. Actually.
Doing well.
Yeah. It's a pretty awesome day in Delaware. You guys have a wonderful, newly legalized state. I love it here.
Newly legalized state. Yes, because this is the first Weedstock since it's been legal. Absolutely. But before I get into all of that, my first question has to be, how did Weedstock become a thing? What made it even start?
We wanted to have a festival. Delaware Normal was trying to raise money and form a community, so we decided to have a festival. The name, which was up for much debate for much of the first year, maybe even into the second year, we came up with so people would know it was about weed without us ever having to advertise as such. So we didn't talk about that or what was going to happen or how free it was going to be. We just called it Weedstock.
Okay, so you wanted to make sure that everybody, they could gather and they could have fun. So when you come up with that idea, that's a thought. This thing that you put together is way more than that. How did it be?
No, it is. It's not.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, Weedstock, anybody you talk to who's going to Weedstock can feel how friendly the community is. They feel like they're part of something, not like some guy just walking around observing, not somebody who's left out. People are really friendly at Weedstock, and we are a community. Maybe a little bit bigger than when we first started, but we certainly are a community.
Okay, well, maybe a little bigger than when we started. Now, when you look back from where it started to where it's grown, what are some of the biggest differences that you noticed?
First year it wasn't a festival. It wasn't 2 days. It was just one day. We started having a spring festival as well because many people said, I can't wait till another year. Why don't you have it sooner? So we started doing that, which was a pretty cool thing.
And we didn't have overnight camping at the first one.
Because it was only one night.
Yep, we only had one night. We didn't have overnight camping. So now it's turned into this more of like a whole weekend experience, like a marijuana renaissance fair. So that's a good way to put it. Well, it is. People come out, they set up tents, they dress in costumes that are appropriate for a cannabis festival. You might not really, in your normal everyday life, go running through your house in a tie-dye, wrapped in tie-dye. I mean, we do, but not everybody else. You know what I mean?
You don't know how I live.
I don't want to down on that. I haven't seen your bathrobe. So, you could have a tie-dye bathrobe, fuzzy bunny slippers, also tie-dye.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Listen, go down.
They probably have joints. The fuzzy bunny slippers, each one with a joint in its mouth, that's the stoner outfit.
I like my bunnies to hop.
So, so the one-day festival was... But the one-day festival for us was never one day. For the staff, we were always camped out there trying to put it together. Mm-hmm. And then that's when we were like, hey, we should turn it into... Since all of us are out here hanging out anyway, and they do events out there with camping, why not open it up to doing some camping and turn it into a 2-day event, have more food trucks. Food trucks is a new thing too. We kind of had like 1 or 2 food trucks in the past, but now there's like a food court, and some of the best food trucks in Delaware like come to show up at this event every year, which is great.
So now when I look at it, so the expansion went from 1 day to now multiple days. Of course, then now you add a camping element because people got to sleep somewhere. Why not? And then it almost becomes its own food festival. That's what I look at it as, because it's not like there's enough food that, to me, if you happen to partake in anything stoner like, even if you don't, you just like food, you could just come there and eat and watch the bands. So it can be a great experience. So now I gotta ask, what's the selection process? Let me word it this way, because I know this thing. But what's it like when to pick the food or to pick the band? Like what's that process like to figure out what the entertainment and the food are going to be in the vendors?
The thing about our group is there's like 9 people who are in this group who put Weedstock on for you guys. And I'll tell you, we meet once a week for 8 months, easily.
Weedstock is a year-long planning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It takes all year to plan.
But everybody has assigned things. Like Chris, besides giving announcements, being the MC, takes care of all the camping.
Mm-hmm. Campgrounds, fun camping. I'm a semi-professional camper at this point. Like, I consider myself a nylon tent connoisseur in many ways. I've been through so many tents. But yeah, camping, you know, what's better about festival camping? I mean, you get to go out to the show, you get to spend your time there, you get to have your experience, and you don't have to worry about driving home that day. It's awesome. And also, too, if for a 2-day event, if you come out on Friday night this year for Weedstock, we've got the entire Dark Side of the Moon album is being played by Echoes. And they don't just play the album. They bring a laser light show. So it's like full-on laser light show, Dark Side of the Moon. You know about this.
Take
laser
your
light
glasses
show thing,
off
right?
and you'll think it's Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah. Well, and also, too, like, I used to just, have a lot of fun at the laser light shows they used to have at the Planetarium in Philly. I used to go to that all the time. And I haven't seen a laser light show, and I can't tell you how long. So I'm psyched just for that part. That's Friday night. So you can come out Friday night, see a laser light show, listen to the entire Dark Side of the Moon album be played live for you by a group that does it best, and then camp out, and then get the whole next day. And if you want, camp out again. You can have 2 nights of camping out there in the field and then leave on Sunday. So it's pretty sweet.
Now, to me, that sounds dope, because I imagine staring up into the sky. This is how I see it. Laser light show, okay? I don't get to enjoy it as much as I like. I'm not going to lie, because I'll be hosting and I got to work. Right. But I do watch, and I can just staring off, laser lights just going in the world, right? Listening to the guitars go off, and now you're in a zone. And that's whether you choose to partake, whether you choose not to partake, or whether you prefer portobello. If you don't know what a portobello is, look them up. But I feel like well, portobellos are delicious.
That's good. I prefer pineapple. I'm just saying.
Listen, this is gonna be a great time, people. That's just that's how I've learned it. Now, with that said, when you look at Weedstock, I believe it's helped a lot with awareness. Clearly, we're in a legalized state. How do you feel or do you feel like there has been an impact on being able to do events like this and the actual advocacy space?
The impact on the advocacy or the event itself?
The both.
I think it started out advocacy, and even in all of our events, advocates come for free. So they're there to talk to you. We've gotten people from Pennsylvania. We've gotten people from California. Woman in a bus comes, the cannabis, right?
Yeah. It's important for the community to have places to get together, right?
And then we share information so people know what's going on with the legislation.
I mean, legislation takes pressure and support from communities. Delaware has the 2nd smallest legislature in the country, which means that you can have a lot of influence if you live here.
Yes.
And by every single person, I mean, thousands of people came to this event over the years, on stage, between every band. We're asking people to contact their legislators. Go to Delaware Normal. Send an email to legislators. Put the pressure on. And we could track that. I can tell you that there's an uptick in letters during the Weedstock events because people are going home and talking about it. Plus, also, there is something about the looking around. I think the cannabis community has been fractured by prohibition. And there are too few places where we get to just be ourselves together in a field. And that's empowering. It really is. And more than just contacting legislators and that feeling is the sense of, we do this work to legalize marijuana and not necessarily to sell it, but also to get a sense of liberty back that was taken away. And to, again, that sense of empowerment is more priceless than anything else, because once people see each other in a field and hang out and smoke some weed together, and once they talk a little positive politics and a little progress with policy, they carry that forward for years, honestly, and they talk to their friends and their family about it. We do a chant on stage as activists and advocates. We do this thing called, the guy named Mickey Martin invented this chant. He says, everybody says, I smoke weed and I'm a good person. And we say that 3 times. I smoke weed and I'm a good person. And that's what you say to politicians. That's what you say to anybody who downs on it. You say, we're not talking about weed. We're talking about the people who involve themselves with the plant. I smoke weed and I'm a good person. I'm a good neighbor. I'm a good family member. There are plenty of people out there in the world who you encounter every day who keep their marijuana smoking a ridiculous secret that they shouldn't have to.
Less now.
Less now. And that's what's cool about this Weedstock. So this is the first one, after 6 years of doing this. The law has changed in Delaware.
Yes, it has.
This is the first event. In the past, anybody who came to Weedstock was doing it as almost like a protestable. You know what I mean? Now, it really is the post-prohibition celebration. That's what this Weedstock is. It's the celebration of winning. It's a celebration of having your empowered liberty back. And it's also a celebration of, Saturday Night Live did a skit with Woody Harrelson about, decriminalizing marijuana in New York. And he, leaves his basement with his bong. And he looks up the street, and everybody's leaving their basement with their bong. The problem with the prohibition in our community is we haven't even been able to see each other, So Weedstock and events like it, few and far between though they are around the country, that gives us that safe space to just see each other and have some fun.
And it's funny you say that, because when we first started this event, 350 people came.
Whew.
350 people, and a lot of them didn't come because they were worried.
Yeah.
And people still don't come because they're worried. But we've gone from 350 people to a couple of thousand people.
Whew. Whew. Okay, so now with that said, how do you feel like it will change the event that it is legalized? I mean, there may be a different energy there, or do you think it will be more people because of that, or do you think that, how do you think that might affect it?
I think there'll be more people. I think also it's got such a word of mouth at this point, there'd be more people even if it wasn't legal.
We had a growing crowd anyway.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But I think legalization, it might get exponential at this point.
I think that the word's probably going to get out over the next couple of weeks. The weather's shaping up to be pretty nice that weekend. The weather has everything to do with any festival or outdoor event. The weather looks great. So, everything, again, we're planning for a bigger than normal crowd because of it being the first year after. We've been telling sponsors, get involved with sponsorship now, because 20 years from now, you'll be able to say, I sponsored the first, cannabis consumer festival in Delaware after legalization. That'll be something you can say forever, and this is the only year that you'll be able to do that. So that's why this year is a little bit special, for sure.
With that said, okay, right, so last year was in October right?
Well, that's what we had.
End of September.
Yeah, end of September.
Into October.
Yeah. Okay, come here. I'm talking to my people real quick. Hey, just so y'all know, right? Last year, it did go into October. That's why the weather did what it did. This year, it's not. We all the way in September, right? No, listen.
Smack in the middle.
Listen. Because it's in September, yeah, you come on, okay? This is what I expect. All right, you come here. Listen, you'll see it, you'll experience it like none other. Okay, I'm done. I just had to talk to them.
No, the weather looks great, and it's important that people, the only other thing that we've been advising people, we're going to do some camping videos this weekend for Instagram, and we're going to show people how to set up tents and like a basic things to bring if you're going to stay overnight. You stayed overnight out there. One thing about staying overnight in a field in Delaware is that it's below sea level by about 3 feet, which means it's damp every morning. So don't leave anything outside of your car or your tent, or it's going to be damp when you wake up in the morning. It's very simple little things that you can do. And bring one warm pair of socks, because it does get a little bit chilly at night, and there are going to be bonfires and things like that. But it is September in Delaware at night. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s. You're going to want a warm pair of socks to be out there.
We've
seen some festival goers. I mean, I remember a few years ago there was like this set of girls out there, and they'd come in just like festival clothes, and they were like huddling by the bonfire all night until morning because it was the only way they could stay warm. Now we don't. By the way, bring a basic setup and everything like that. But there's also great food trucks that are open until late. So you don't have to bring a lot of food if you're camping, but definitely bring a warm pair of socks.
Do we know any of the food trucks that will be there?
Yeah.
Offhand. No is an acceptable answer.
I do know them, but I can't remember their names.
I know the amount, and we're going to have those promos out this week.
Yeah.
Tracy on?
Tracy and food
is
truck.
coming back now?
Salt and sugar and salt.
Sugar and salt.
The taco truck that was there before. What's that?
Taco
Jordan.
Taco Jordan.
Who else is going to be there?
Okay.
Taco Jordan.
So they're
good tacos, actually.
They're going to have tacos. They're going to have Jamaican food. They're going to have burgers and stuff. I'm just letting y'all know, because listen, y'all might not know who makes the truck, but I know who they serve.
Granny's Kitchen.
Actually, they were great.
Listen, you're going to be able to get a little bit of everything. The people with the smoker are going to be there.
No, I don't remember. Oh, the barbecue and fish fry.
There it is, barbecue. You're gonna get barbecue. You got fish fry, right? Both of those, right? But you probably might want a burger or something hot dog. That'll be there. Boom, right? You might want some Jamaican, little jerk chicken, little oxtail. That'll be there. Okay, listen. However it is, you need to position yourself, right? Because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, right? You come there. If you come Friday, you might come. Let's say the show starts at 6. About between 6, you're going to walk around a little bit. Now, what I do on stage, just so you know, I will tell you about different vendors while I'm on stage. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you about some of the things you can receive and go get while you walk around so you know where to go, right? So you come in, you'll see me, you'll hear G-Dash like, wow, the music going to get to playing, you're going to get into a vibe, you're going to do whatever you need to do to get in your zone. Huh? I won't judge it. That's your zone. You get there. Then, okay, you're going to be hungry. Okay? You're going to be hungry. Once you're hungry, you go ahead and move around and figure out who has the food that you want, whether it's the oxtails or the barbecue or whatever it may be to partake. Then you're going to get yourself a good seat, right in the middle, right in the front. You're going to have a seat and you're going to enjoy the zone. Things to know. I'm going to tell y'all. And I'm going to tell y'all why I'm in front of them, okay? After midnight, right? Because the show on stage ends at midnight, but there's still activities, people, right? It's not like sanctioned activities. It's like vacation activities where we might do it, we might not. Okay? But that's how it is.
Somebody's always up there.
Somebody's always up because it's the bonfire, it's a pavilion. People just kind of like chilling out if you choose to chill out, or you can go to your tent and get some rest. I didn't know how to make a tent. He helped. He showed me the first time. I don't know if he knows it. I was just out here just fiddling with sticks. It was weird.
We are here to help. We're here to help. We're here to help. We have a camping crew that's out there. We'll help set up tents. Sean pulled out RVs last year. Not that we want your RVs ever to get stuck, but that's what we are. That's what we're doing out there. And the campground is great because what you can do is, people bring grills. They bring barbecue grills. Sure. They bring gas grills.
They bring campers.
Yeah, they do. You can do RV camping. We have limited RV space, but you can bring in an RV. People have a full setup. I mean, I bring a glamping tent now with a fire ring, and we have all that set up. But I've also seen people come out with a very simple camping setup, but a very big cooking setup. Mm-hmm. They come to cook and eat the whole show. Seriously, I remember the last one. The people camped right across from me had 4 grills. It's like they were having a grill competition, a munchie competition with each other during the entire event, and it smelled so good, like the entire time.
I'm going to let you know. So if y'all choose to have your own competitions, listen, I may be a judge. Let me know, because if I'm done hosting, I will slide to the side and judge, and I'll tell you, like, no, don't do that again, or make me two of those. That is amazing. Roll me up to that. Is a great role you did. I don't know what you're rolling. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But that is a beautiful role. You did a great job. Okay? Or yours is holy as boating. What we doing?
Oh my God! Oh, we have to talk about Stoner Olympics. We're having Stoner Olympics.
Are we really?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a rolling competition. Are we really? We're not really doing that, are we? There's not going to be medals. There's not going to be. Mark Zuckerberg will not cut us off for this, right?
Yeah, no. Actually, yeah.
And it's legal in Delaware.
And it won't be the first time it's happened on my show.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Does he drop in? Like, is there like a little Mark Zuckerberg? Like,
yo, listen, yeah. If you want to just drop in because you feel like you got the fastest roll. Mark look like he got little hands, dude. He could like really get it in.
You have to charge him to a cage fight. The only way he's gonna pay attention is if we challenge him to a cage fight. We can charge. Oh my God, that would be better. I would way rather see Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg come to Weedstock and do a joint rolling competition than do a cage fight ever.
Elon can roll way better.
I don't know about that.
Elon can roll way better than Zuckerberg.
We do not know about that.
Bro, we're not even testing. Have you seen Elon's eyes?
Dude.
Okay.
I know. He just rolls a joint with his eyelids. Yeah, Elon Musk rolls a joint with his eyelids like Aeon Flux catches flies. You know what I mean? Like.
Yes. Okay, so fans. Do you want free tickets to the 6th annual Weedstock Festival hosted by me, G-Jones, September 15th to the 17th, presented by the Delphi Group? For the free passes, listen to this poem, count how many vendors and sponsors I mentioned. You'll see them on the screen right there. The first to message me with the correct number of vendors and sponsors I mentioned wins the tickets. As I'm thinking. Weedstock, bring your tribe. It's a good vibe. The Delaware 420 vibe. In other words, it's all love. You can tell by the taste of the Van Auken fudge. You might frolic in Wonderland with terpy holistics. Sometimes that's how weed works. You dig it? You be in your chair or blanket sitting, getting lifted, wishing for something tasty like Granny's Kitchen or Casey's Kitchen. Want some sugar and salt? Listen, Tracy Ann's Eatery got me on an oxtail mission. I'll have Sweet Charlie's candy or flowers in my food. Who doesn't love a good scone? I'll take mine infused. At Weedstock, I want you at your best personally. If you smell funky, hit the premium shower right after you see the Sand Hill Soap Company. Meet me at the vape station. Icebox Limited feels limitless. They'll have you in your bag with hidden zippers for convenience. This behavior is expected around the flower and vape district. So we talked about these activities. While we talked about these activities, it brings me to a question. Because, I hear myself saying, come closer to the stage. And there's a time when I say come closer to the stage, and I'll let y'all tell me how y'all would describe what happens at this time. So typically, I don't know, but if you take these numbers, if you take the number 4 and you put it next to the number 20, right, on Saturday, day 2, how would you describe, because I'm going to tell y'all to get close to the stage, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen from my perspective. I'm going to say, everybody, come on closer because you might be shopping or something, and that's fine. You might be getting some food or something. You might be sleeping in the tent. Whatever it is, at 4:20 on Saturday, I'm going to be yelling out, get closer to the stage. Behind me, you will see DJ Marketech, right? Mixing some of your favorite grooves, literally, your grooves. Get your groove on, in the vibes. And in front of the stage, what might they see?
The Kush Cannon.
Yeah, the Kush. So they will see. They will see.
Oh yeah. Of smoke.
Oh my God! Like, yeah. I mean, if it were a clear blue sky, it would be zero visibility in about 5 seconds where you're standing. And I've seen it happen like that.
You don't see people across from you.
It really is a growing, huge cloud of cannabis smoke at 4:20 p.m. And 4:20 is because of it's kind of a funny story. These guys out in California made a flyer that they put in a Grateful Dead lot, and they were like, "Hey, smoke weed every day." And I did some reporting on this, but what really made 420 popular was that in the 1990s, High Times magazine and the writers there sort of repopularized 420. They were looking for something for the community to do. And High Times really made 420 in its modern sort of hallmark holiday sense what it is today.
Or daily sense.
Yeah, yeah. And also, like, people think about it. But that's the funny thing about the cannabis community. We have to have these moments. 420 on Saturday is that moment. Everybody expects it. They would be doing it in their tent if we weren't doing it on stage. So we have to make a moment for that on stage, and we have to have what we call a moment of cannabis reflection and celebration, you know? And that's what happens. And, you know, it's funny, like, there's a totally different vibe to 1,000 people lighting up joints together than there is to 1,000 people holding up a beer and drinking it. It's a completely different vibe. Like, you hold up a beer and you drink it, it's like you're at a soccer stadium in England or something. You know, that's like the vibe you get. When you light a joint, you smoke it, it's like you're putting your arm around your neighbor and you're like sharing stuff. You're looking at people in different ways.
Jokes.
You're not like headbutting them in a mosh pit. You know what I mean? So it's like
That is true.
well, you know, not that
You're not having people spill beer on you either.
yeah, that's true. You never spill a joint except when you're rolling it. So, but yeah, no, Weedstock is, Weedstock in that moment of 420 is the community being itself. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to participate in. And again, the energy, like, people think that there's a stereotype for stoners, like, and there's not. That's what's kind of cool about Weedstock and these events. It's like see.
It is definitely a 21 and above event.
21 and above,
70-year-old people there often.
Yes.
We do get a lot of senior citizens.
Every year, well, I've seen you get a lot of scope of adult ranges because people want to be around the community.
Yeah.
People want that comfortable place where they can come and kind of ingratiate and enjoy, especially after the first time you do it, you're just like, oh wait, this is comfortable here?
Yeah.
And it just kind of changes the perspective. So
yeah, no, I think I've been so impressed with the kind of turnout that we have. We have a lot of Townsend locals because it's in Townsend. And, you know, I'm from up, you know, way north in New Jersey, so it's like I don't know much about Townsend. Man, the Townsend locals are so cool, and they're so nice to us, and they love that we're there every year. And then you get people come down from Wilmington and up from, you know, southern Delaware, too. I really have been impressed with the kind of diversity of the crowd at this event every year, too. I mean, it really is. That's what, again, cannabis consumers are everywhere. We keep it too good a secret. And when you get an event where everybody can come out, you see that it's everybody. Everybody smokes weed. And if you give people an opportunity to just focus on cannabis as an event, rather than anything else, there is little conflict and little controversy. You know what I mean? It is very much a bring together thing.
with that said, before and by virtual guest, I'm still gonna get to y'all, I promise. But I gotta ask y'all both. I gotta ask definitely one, at least this question. When y'all think of the vets, I gotta bring them up because
They're there.
Why? Help. Why are they so great in this space and helpful?
Oh.
That's a good question, but I would think it's because they're used to, like, subversive behavior, so to speak. It's a motorcycle club. So they're used to people thinking differently about what they do, and they're also very protective of your rights to do what you want to do.
I had to help a friend of mine who was doing some vending at an event, not ours. So they have events at Firebase Lloyd all year. They have a Renaissance fair there.
Yes.
So Weedstock is there. We have 2 events there a year, right? Mm-hmm. But they have a Renaissance fair, and they have all kinds of other events on that property. And like she said, a lot of the veterans are motorcycle enthusiasts. And they have motorcycle meets on that property. And I helped somebody vend food at one of the motorcycle meets on that property. And what a completely different vibe than Weedstock. And what
a different vibe.
And a vibe, but also like 10 times the crowd. Like, I have never seen that many motorcycles in Delaware in one place ever. Mm-hmm. And so when you ask why they're cool with us, they're used to having events down there that are like way louder and probably a bit rowdier than we are. We are a mellow event. Even the Renaissance Fair is probably rowdier than we are. So because they have mead. They're selling that mead. People get drunk on mead real fast. So.
Do they really?
Oh yeah, yeah. They go overboard on the mead. But start swinging swords. It gets dangerous at a Ren fair.
It sounds like a meaty world.
Oh yeah, yeah. Meads and swords, man. I'll take weed every day. It's a safer combination, you know. But yeah, no. That's the thing. I think that space has been welcoming to us and other groups that want to do fun stuff down there. So we've been lucky with that. I hope that more spaces do that. Now that marijuana is legal in Delaware, New Jersey, and Maryland, you hope that more business owners want to be consumer friendly. That they want to find ways to invite us to have a meal there, you know, have an ice cream at a place where we can hang out in the parking lot and smoke a joint and watch the sunset. That's not so terrible, is it? Right?
Listen, so, not to me, but I...
Right. I mean...
Do you think that there would ever be an event like Weedstock down at the beach, since Delaware has beaches and stuff like that?
If again, I'm sure that Weedstock would have other events, like, right? You guys would do.
I have to say, and we'll talk about the vets, Firebase Lloyd is the perfect place for Weedstock. And I think we'd be hard-pressed to find something equal to that in the state.
I love it. Okay, is there anything that y'all feel like might have been missed or did not get covered from your perspective when it comes to Weedstock? But as far as Weedstock, is there anything that y'all would want to add in or mention?
Get your tickets early.
Well, I think one of the most important things about the people who put Weedstock on is we want you to have fun.
How y'all?
What's going on?
Living the dream.
Yes.
How are you?
And we got both. I got Dustin Manucci and I got the Baldus. Listen. I got Lincy, right? By the way, let me tell the world, Lincy is what I consider the art director of this here Weedstock situation, right? Boom. Then we got my man James. Now James is the head of all things media, internet world, all that. Listen, he rocking in where you rolling at. Okay, you rolling, he rocking that, and he does manual labor too. It's crazy.
Yes, he does.
How y'all doing today?
Just stay lifted.
That's right. Staying lifted. Looking forward to Weedstock. We appreciate you having us on tonight to talk about all the fun we have coming up. Good times, man. Ready to rock out with DMT over there.
That's a fact. He look like he's frozen. And listen, he already he lit. Okay, right now you.
That was the unable to join one, I think.
Dustin is already sitting there.
I'm drinking a lot of coffee and smoking a cigarette.
There you go. It's the Manucci.
I'm heavily caffeinated.
So now
I've been
I have
practicing for the last 7 hours. So.
That's his caffeine level going on the screen right now, actually. That's not him loading. That's his caffeine level right there.
Cool. So Dustin, what's your Weedstock set going to be like?
What is Weedstock going to be like?
Your Weedstock set. You going to be on the stage? What you doing?
Yeah, we're going to be doing everything from the EP, and then we just have a new single that just came out, Midnight Angel, which is now available for streaming on all the platforms. Yeah, man, everything. We'll probably throw in a couple of jams there.
Absolutely. So y'all gonna do the Midnight Angel. I know that's gonna be a vibe at the Weedstock. They're gonna be with the angels for a second. People gonna be floating around.
If you guys get a chance, check it out. This one's got definitely a very 80s summer beach vibe to it. So
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Now, James and Lindsay, I gotta ask you all, when it came to the direction, when it comes to this Weedstock thing, because y'all are responsible for a lot of the aesthetics, whether it be creating how it looks or putting together how it looks or putting it out. How'd y'all come up with some of that stuff?
I think I'm just inspired by a lot of the things that are going on in the community. So art is kind of like my thing, right? But then when you blend that with with the passion that this community is driven by, and this what they've created. And you know, James and I, for a little back history, James and I both attended Weedstock, our first Weedstock in 2018. We were just festival goers. You know, at first we were like, hold up, is this too good to be true? Is this real? And we were, like Sing had said earlier, we were a little skeptical, but you know, it was worth it for us. We were like, you know what, we're going to go check this out. We knew people who had been and had heard wonderful things. We have not looked back since. We joined the volunteer team, and now we are even further with the team. And it's my favorite weekend. Now we have two, so my two favorite weekends of the year that don't have to do with my family, of course, because it's such a fun time, and to be able to share my art with those who I've connected with and people I've never met. That's a really cool platform, and then to be inspired by that advocacy as well, because it's hard, and I think that speaks to what a lot of people are going through in life, and being able to have an outlet like art, not only for yourself, but to share with a group of people is pretty cool to me. So that's kind of what inspires me. I hope I didn't go too off topic there.
I dig it. What about you, James? You're responsible for bringing a lot of this stuff to the people. What's that like, kind of like going through all the technical world to make sure that we can actually get there?
It's been, excuse me, it's been an adventure, honestly. Like, you know, like Lincy said, you know, it all started off with, you know, going to the event, volunteering, and then literally being welcomed into the community with open arms. And you know, it to me, every single time that I'm going, it's like that's what it's all about is spreading all of that information. So being able to, you know, take charge of the website and, you know, push out advertisements and push out information to the community, that's great, because then I can actually also go communicate with those people in the community, you know, the smaller businesses, and try to get them more involved, and, you know, more people knowing about Weedstock and more people coming and having the same experiences that many have, which is that absolute open arm welcome feeling and wonderful musical vibes.
Absolutely.
The good vibes are what it's all about.
I love it. Now, Dustin.
What's
you
up?
Here?
I'm here.
Question. I gotta ask you. This ain't your first Weedstock rodeo that you done performed at, sir.
No, it is not. We performed a couple of times with the Mambas. We also did Up in Smoke with the Dustin Manucci trio. So yeah, I'm definitely I've been to a few events.
So, what would you say Weedstock is like compared to other festivals you've performed at?
Dude, honestly, there's a lot of people. It's the same thing. Everybody's shopping. People are eating. There's just a lot more weed. There's just a lot more pot. Last year, I was actually sick during the Mamba set. I was standing still on stage. I was trying not to, like, literally, I was like very nauseous. So, and then we took a funny story. We took somebody gave me an edible afterwards. I can't do it when I'm playing. The stuff is too complex. But took an edible, ended up eating all the edibles, ended up ordering $50 worth of Wawa, and Dylan ate Greg's chicken sandwich, and he was really. And I woke up with like some sub on my chest, man. I was like, dude, what the hell happened?
Wow, that's great.
So the edibles definitely hit pretty hard, and I'm not much of a weed smoker, so I'm lightweight with that kind of stuff.
And you know what? That's the beautiful thing about Weedstock too, is if you overindulge, the beautiful thing is you can camp. We have so many cool opportunities, and that's what I tell everybody. You know, I call it spend the whole weekend, right? It's all about that experience. Sure, it's great to come for a day, but when you're able to experience those before and after hours, because, you know, gates have a certain time that they're open, but if you're camping, you have unlimited access to that festival the entire weekend. You come in at noon on Friday and just rock out, set your stuff up, meet your neighbors, meet the community. You know, why not, right?
Absolutely. This year also has a lot of different, like, diverse amount of bands. I know Greg's band, Trader, his metal band's playing the next day. There's
Absolutely.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, I will say it goes every day. I wish my man Ty Mathis could get on here because he's got that like folk
What's going on, Ty?
type of vibe, right? Then y'all got the Dustin Manucci trio, which you know where y'all tend to take us. Then, like you said, you mentioned Traders on that list. That echoes the actual cover band. It takes you into some rock spaces.
Absolutely. There's also, I mean, Blues Reincarnation Project's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff's amazing. You know, Jeffrey's great.
Yeah,
There's a lot
we got
of good
Echoes, American Pink Floyd cover band. They're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff. They're bringing a whole laser show. The Mad
Looking forward
Dabbers,
to that.
Little Pink Blues, Down Confidential, Hippocampus. Oh, Naughty G's are back. I mean, you're right.
lineup.
Y'all are capturing it all because it really is a diverse crowd of music. And we talk about our crowd of festival goers being diverse, and that's such a beautiful thing. I love that. But the music is diverse. You can enjoy everything, and while you think you might not be interested in something, you're sitting there, you're chilling, you're passing a J around, you're like, oh, hold on, I never even heard this kind of music, but you fall in love with it, and it just Weedstock opens your mind in so many ways, and it's a really cool thing, I think. So.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, James.
What happened? I can't. Oh, somebody's talking.
No. So I have to ask y'all. Also, when y'all are setting up, what's the preparation like? Like I just talked to Tin, I talked to Chris, but and I'm gonna start with you, James. What's the preparation like for you? What's your experience like with the preparation and setting up Weedstock?
It's you have to keep that open mind to allow the creativity in, because we walk onto Firebase Lloyd and it's an empty slate. It's just an open field, and there's a pavilion and a stage, and from that open field, this group has for the last 7 years been able to transform into not only just a music festival, but an absolutely comfortable and wonderful place just to come to and experience, that safe place vibe, to just be able to sit in the middle of the field listening to the music, smoking a J, and not looking over your back. To be able to be helped out by somebody, and just like what was just said, if somebody were to eat too many edibles or something, they're going to learn from that, not only from just the experience, but there's going to be other people there that are helping to say other things to them, like, hey, this is one of those reminders of why you want to try to go low and slow. Sometimes you might get a little bit more munchies and you might want to eat more of them, but try to resist, and so on and so forth. And there's times where I have not only learned things myself, but witnessed other people learning such important information about cannabis and cannabis use, like responsible use.
Yes.
And that's really it's really important for our community to know this, especially during the legalization year.
And education and all that, for sure. Setup
Also,
is
when you go to Wawa.
I was just talking about how when you camp, you extend your experience. But if anyone here has the opportunity ever to volunteer with Weedstock, it's amazing. So you add a few days onto your Weedstock experience by volunteering. You get to camp out with the crew and help be a part of that setup that James was talking about. The festival life is so magical to me, and I've not yet been to a major festival. We call Weedstock a micro festival, and I'm perfect. I love this. I'm perfect with this. Perfectly happy with the size of this and the whole vibe. But it's something, and I keep saying this, but it's something you have to experience. And there's a lot of things to do, and a lot of people are struggling with money. But if you can't afford a ticket, volunteering is the way to do it. You get a free pass you earn that by working. And you meet a lot of cool people. It's such a fun time.
Absolutely. I can vouch for everything that you spoke on. Definitely. The experience is just, for me, even as the host, it's a great vibe, right? Now, Dustin, I do got one more question for you, sir.
What's up?
Because now I'm just curious. When you are preparing for a festival versus when you're preparing to do a regular event or a show, is your set different, or do you do different things?
No, No, with the only difference that I do is I make sure that I change all my strings for an outdoor festival, weather permitting. The guitars are made out of wood, so they do expand and compress. So the chances of breaking a string is more likely. Also, I always make sure I reinforce all my pedal boards and all that stuff. So, and also with rain and everything else, So.
But there's but you don't have to craft anything different for the crowd, music wise.
No, we just do what we do.
Just rock it, nice. Very cool.
And it becomes
And a lot of, you saw it, at our last set, I was doing a lot of experimental stuff, going more into the jazz realm and stuff like that. We
I dig it.
started off as a rock band, but it definitely went. I'm really heavily influenced right now with like jazz stuff, so it's naturally creeping its way into my playing.
Yeah, follow it. That's really cool.
absolutely that's dope. Okay, good people. Before we get up out of here, I gotta listen. I'm gonna shout some folks out because I can. That's it. I'm doing shouts out to Good Five. Shouts out to the Sand Hill Soap Company. Listen, one of these days I'm gonna tell y'all a story about how how the Sand Hill Soap Company gave me soap on stage, and it was a circle, it was like a donut soap, and she said that it had a hole in it. She said, use this donut soap to clean your. Never mind. I'll tell you about that another time. Not today. Now, Sand Hill Soap Company. I'm just telling that Sand Hill Soap Company. Just put it in the hole to clean it. Anyway, Grady's Kitchen, shout out to them. Casey's Kitchen, falling off the bone in the building. Oh, this is gonna be good. Tracy Irons, I like it. Sugar and salt. This is the food vendors, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know the grub in the building. Oh, it's gonna be a good time. Oh man, yeah. I'm keeping this list. I'm using it later. All right. With that said, y'all got anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here, good people?
I think the most important would be also to keep your eye out in the community for the flyers, because these flyers that are flying around happen to have a $5 off coupon for the gate, and they also have all the information that you're going to need on it. It tells you all about the day passes being $50, full weekend with GA camping being $125. Everything that we're going over, everything that is said, we can absolutely say that most of it is on weedstock.org, and you can follow all the links through there. And any other further questions from that, always can direct them at any of us.
And I do have something to add, if I can. I got so sidetracked on my rambling of my personal inspirations, but I did not mention my favorite part of Weedstock, which is the art. So we got tons of recycled art. We got people coming out doing live art. It's a big piece of the event. We got cool decor, art sculptures, fun photo ops. As always, we have our flow artists coming out, spinning fire, doing their koi thing, got all their cool lights and all the magical things going on. The stage design this year, I got some big plans for that. It's going to be epic. We got some killer bands on the lineup who are going to rock it. We got some lasers going on and whatnot. So it is going to be a good time. Check out the art. Check out the vendors. Stay for camping and fill your bellies with those good munchies, guys. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! I love it. Hey, Dustin, anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
I just want to say thank you to Weedstock for supporting live music.
Thank you.
And, believe in what we do.
Live music with bands who's gonna play original music. That's a double whammy.
That's a big thing. So thank you guys.
Thank you for being here.
Okay. Because James gave me a word yesterday, right? Y'all gonna see that on Sunday another time, so I ain't even going to listen. Hey, but James gave me a word yesterday, because shouts out to the Late Night Grind Show. That episode is coming out soon. Shouts out to them. Lindsay, can you give me a word?
How about sky?
Sky.
Thank you.
Sky,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, I love the sky. It's beautiful up there. Okay. Dustin, can you give me a word?
How about frivolous?
What was it? Frivolous?
Yeah.
That's a lot of syllables.
Frivolous. Ooh, I like that word. It is like frivolous. Okay.
There's a nice punch to it.
Okay. And now, James, I'm gonna swing back to you anyway. So give me a word.
Peace.
peace. I got Sky, I got Frivolous, I got Peace, and shouts out to Delphire because Sin gave me the word friend. So Sky, Frivolous, Peace, friend. Sky, Frivolous, Peace, friend. All right, I'm thinking. Oh, I've looked into the sky and said I can't find peace with frivolous friendships. Oh, I just started off and I'm already killing it. I think y'all need to understand, personally, I don't like to have conversations when my spirit isn't feeling it. Like, I need to talk to you in a way where I know your soul is revealing it. Like, I really don't have time for what they call small talk, which is where we don't have much. It's like a verbal way to play hopscotch with no chalk. Like what are we gonna do out here? Like, I just don't have time to act like people are close to me that I would never let near. See, I don't have time to fake like I'm listening to people who I refuse to hear. Like, I just will never let you believe that I'm going to hug and hold close people who I will never treat as if they're near and dear. See, this is how I feel right here. I refuse to move in that way because the minute I do, I will have anxiety. That's a whole lot of fear that those that I'm shedding this to and giving this to reveal that I'm acting like I'm there for, but I'm really not here. See, I can't do that at all. That just would stick me in deep with that spirit. I hope that y'all hear me right here. See, as I look up into the sky, I ask myself, why? Like, why do people refuse to choose peace because they rather, not accept who they are continuously? Why not walk in their way consistently? Excuse me, I just had to breathe. I know it's weed talking through me, but I just want y'all to understand this is personally how I need life to be. So, well, I don't know where else to end, but where I begin is I don't have time as I look into the sky to waste on frivolous friends while I'm searching for peace. And that's how it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. I try. Did a little thing. Used them all. I try. I ain't get them back, but I do what I do. All right. I appreciate you all for coming on.
We appreciate
Thank you. This has been
The best time.
Y'all want to say anything before we get out of here?
No, we appreciate you, G. Thank you for having us on. Thanks for killing it on that Weedstock stage.
Stay lifted.
We appreciate you, man.
All right,
We're jamming with you, Dustin.
See you guys.
Listen, and again, this is going to be a crazy edit job, but y'all going to see this back when I edit it and repost it. So I'll see y'all then. I appreciate y'all for coming on. Oh, and look out, because I'm still going to post a raffle for some tickets. All right, listen, y'all going to see that. That post going to come today or tomorrow. You're going to see it. I'm going to put it out there. I promise y'all going to know how to get some. With that said, I'm G-Jones. This has been Hats Off, Weedstock Edition, Panama Pair Week. Y'all see the hat. I'm out of here. I'll holler.
Peace.
See ya.
Good night, y'all.